Hi all, welcome back to my channel and our kayaking adventures. With gypsy chickens roaming the streets and the parking lot of the local Starbucks, can you guess where we might be? Join us as we paddle out and around Key West, launching from Simonton Street, paddling around Christmas Tree and Tank Island, and even getting a unique view of the USCGC Ingham. We arrived at Simonton Street and immediately launched our kayaks. The wind was still a little high, however we didn't want to miss a chance to kayak this beautiful blue water. For those of you who have become big fans of the rubber duck, viewer discretion is advised. As I fought the heavy waves to get Miss Kayak 7C's kayak out to sea, the poor little ducky didn't have a chance to hang on. We both failed to notice, and that little ducky drifted around the boat ramp while I attended to my kayak. I unfortunately did not see our yellow friend, and that little ducky was left behind. I have heard tales that the little ducky could have possibly boarded that pirate vessel, joined up with their crew, became a buccaneer, and now lives a life of adventure, rum, and gold. If you know the story to be true, let me know in the comments. As we set out to paddle the area, there were two islands about 500 yards in front of us. I later learned that the island to the left is Tank Island, also known as Sunset Key, a high-dollar residential neighborhood privately held among its residents. The island to the right is Wisteria Island, also known as Christmas Tree Island by the locals, because of the large number of Australian pine trees that have grown there. Both islands were created from repeated dredging projects in the late 1890s and early 1900s by the U.S. Navy. We would paddle first toward Wisteria Island. Ownership of Wisteria Island is being disputed in a decade-long court battle between the federal government and a private developer. The island is inhabited by a squatter community, some who work in Key West and can't afford to live there, and others that reside on anchored boats and use the island as their backyard. Paddling toward the islands, the water was fairly rough for our kayaks. These Perception sit-on tops handled pretty well though. I'm glad we bought them. The watercolor was simply amazing. There was a fair amount of boat traffic which we had to keep an eye on. Other than the wind, this was turning out to be a fantastic day. Once we got closer to the shore of Wisteria, you could see some makeshift tents made from tarps. I assumed at the time these were just campers out having an adventure. Later I found the island held a community of squatters and homeless. There are many stories online, some advocating the inhabitants are harmless old hippies, other stories claiming they are groups of thieves and bandits, dangerous to outsiders. This island certainly does have some stories to tell. There have been various types of people living on this island since the 1960s in makeshift campsites. After making our way past the two contrasting spoil islands, one with million-dollar homes, the other occupied by the homeless, it really shows the economic disparity in the U.S. We decided to paddle toward the USCGC Ingham, a Coast Guard cutter we toured earlier in the day. I hope you had a chance to watch that video earlier this week. It really was a fun one to make. With the wind still high, we weren't sure where we would head next. As we attempted to go back in the direction we had launched from, we had a pretty strong headwind against us. It appeared the winds weren't going to die down anytime soon. We decided it might be best to stick close to Simonton Street. We have had a full adventurous day, and we have already paddled for a couple hours. There were plenty of places to paddle around Key West. However, the wind was not in our favor today. I certainly would love to come back to this area again. There are so many places left to explore. If you're wondering about the wild roosters and chickens that roam freely in Key West, well, since you stayed for the whole video, I'm going to tell you. Key West roosters are the descendants of roosters that the Cuban settlers brought for food and for fighting. For centuries, a winning cockfight rooster was a source of income and bragging rights. Since the 1970s, cockfights are no longer legal in the Florida Keys, and owners let their birds run free. All migratory birds in the Florida Keys are protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918. This included the wild roosters and hens that roam freely in Key West. Local folklore says the gypsy chickens are free from harm because of a law that dates back to the voodoo practices involving the sacrifice of chickens. Either way, the roosters and hens have become a symbolic feature of Key West. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you have, be sure to hit that like button. Join Team Kayak 7 Seas by subscribing to my channel. Have you visited Key West? Let me know in the comments what you thought of the place. Until next time, I hope to see you out on the water someday.